to today's video. The plan for this video is we are just going to be reading solely ARCs. If you don't know what an ARC is, it's an advanced reader copy, and it's basically a book you get before it's released, sent to you by the publisher, the author, whatever. I have 3 ARCs that I need to read before like beginning mid-May. Don't know if we'll get to all of them in this video, but I am so excited. I love receiving ARCs. It's so exciting for me. And we're going to read them, review them, hype them up maybe a bit if I enjoy them. Just in time. I'm planning on posting this just in time for their releases, so you can have some new releases to look forward to. I think the first ARC I'm gonna have to read 100% is Elle Kennedy's new book in the Campus Diaries series. I'm really in the mood for a hockey romance. It's called The Dixon Rule. I'm not entirely sure who it's about. The Campus Diaries is like a spin-off of the Off Campus series, but the Campus Diaries series is interconnected standalones. The first book, The Graham Effect, was based off of Barrett Graham and Hannah's child. I can't remember the child's name now. Their child was book 1, and I think book 2 is based off of one of their child's friends. Like an interconnected standalone, if that makes any sense. I just love Elle Kennedy's writing. She has such a unique voice and tone, and to me, no one else writes like her. It's phenomenal. I love her hockey romances, and I haven't read a hockey romance in a hot minute. And I feel like I need to read one so badly, so I'm so excited for this. This is a very highly anticipated read for me. I cannot believe I got the ARC. I kind of knew like potentially I could be getting the ARC because I've had ARCs for Elle Kennedy's last 2 books, The Graham Effect and A Girl Abroad. Both were great. So I'm very excited for this, and I'm gonna let you know my thoughts. It'll probably be overwhelmingly positive because I eat up at Elle Kennedy hockey romance every single time. I love them. So I am so excited. Let's get reading. So I've got my cup of tea, of course in my grommet mug. I feel like this is a very British thing. And we're gonna start the Dixon Rule. I actually have no idea what the tropes are in this. Like, is it? I have no idea. Roommates? Fake dating? I have no idea. And I'm kind of excited that I'm going into this blind because I feel like it's going to make it so much better. Literally 1% in and I'm already just hooked. God, I think it's Neighbours. Oh my god. Okay, let me just I'm just read chapter 1. Let me just debrief and let you know what this feels like. If you have read The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer, that book had me in a literal chokehold. I can't. When I say Rory Miller made me flustered beyond belief, it's an understatement. Shane is giving Rory Miller and I'm scared for my well-being. The end of chapter 1, he says, I'm not actually sure what her name is. I know her surname's Dixon, I'm not sure what her name is. But he says, because my new goal for us is to become best friends and spend every waking hour together. Oh hey, I'm actually throwing a party this weekend. We should co-host. Keep both our doors open. It's giving Rory Miller. If you've read The Fake Out, it's like Golden Retriever vibes, but like kind of cocky, overconfident at the same time. And it's giving this. I'm gonna get through a bit more and I'll be back to you and I'll let you know my thoughts. Right now I'm loving it. As I knew I would. I'm not sure the last time I updated you, but I am on chapter 19 of the Dixon Rule. When I say I am eating this up, it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I think I was saying before how it's giving The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. If you've read The Fake Out, Shane is giving Rory Miller. I need to reinforce that comment. Literally stop it. Stop it. I'm obsessed. This is exactly what I needed to get me out. I wasn't even in a slump. I was just in like a unmotivated to read sort of slog. That makes sense. 39% of the way through chapter 19. I don't think this is really spoiler. If you don't want to know the tropes, then just skip forward a little bit. Then they kind of like they're not enemies. It's not enemies to lovers. Kind of hate each other a little bit. It's like a rom-com enemies to lovers, you know. And fake dating will forever have me in a chokehold. I am sat. I'm really enjoying it so far. I don't love the FMC, if I'm being completely honest. I'm struggling slightly with the FMC. But that being said, we're still very early on. We're not even halfway through yet. Things could change. Something's happened that's slightly pivoted my point of view, and I think I'm starting to warm up to her. But Shane, oh my goodness gracious, I'm in love. Like I keep saying, it's giving Rory Miller, and I feel like I keep saying it because it's a very, very vital piece of information. If you have not read The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer, I think about that book all the time. Anyway, I'm going to read a bit more. Well, I'm going to read a lot more. I'm hooked. I'm so hooked. So let's carry on reading. Just tell that Shane is just down so bad for her, but she's just not getting it. Some would say blind, I say it makes for a great plot. That's my take on it anyway. I think I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea. I am all of a sudden in my tea era. I have never once drunken tea my entire life until about a week ago. Oh my good god. The tension between these two characters is off the charts. I am unwell in the best way. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have no words. I am so giddy. I am like reading it and I'm literally like this. Like internally squealing. This is so good. I am sat. Shame? I am sat. I've hit the 50% mark. Elle Kennedy? I don't know how you do it every single time. Elle Kennedy writes a hockey romance like nobody else. I keep saying it. Elle Kennedy has this unique tone that no one else can seem to replicate. Elle Kennedy, you have my entire heart. You literally eat every single time. I don't know how an author can slay this much. Like, you can tell Elle Kennedy studies her craft. And I love to see that. Just ignore the facts that I have wet hair right now, but I finished The Dixon Rule last night by Elle Kennedy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I finally figured out, it felt so familiar to me, and I finally figured out why. It was giving, basically, Shane, the MMC, agrees to help Diana with her like ballroom dancing, like salsa, tango competition sort of thing, and he agrees to be her dance partner. And it was giving, you know, in High School Musical, where Troy has the whole basketball versus theatre thing. That's exactly what it was giving. And there was literally a scene where, you know, High School Musical 1, where they have like the callback, but like all the power goes out, so all the basketball team end up coming and watching the callback. It literally was giving that at one point, and I was like, oh my god, this is so nostalgic to me, because High School Musical was my childhood. It was so nostalgic, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. I think I said I wasn't a big fan of the FMC at the start. She really, really grew up. I loved both of the characters, and like I said, Elle Kennedy's writing is just unique. I love her hockey romances. They're always brilliant. They're always a nice read. I will say the Dixon Rule definitely felt heavier. It's definitely the heaviest one of her books. I've had some quite heavy themes in. I would definitely check trigger warnings. And there were parts where I actually had to take a minute. I actually had to sit back and think, right, I need a minute. Because it was kind of rough. Like, I just had to sit there like with my mouth open, and I was like, I just need a minute so I don't cry, because it was emotional. It was very emotional, but it was handled in almost a painfully beautiful way, if that makes sense. Obviously, it's part of a series. They're interconnected standalones. You don't need to read the series in order by any means. But I know a lot of people have read the Off-Campus series, and the Campus Diary series is kind of new. I would highly, highly, highly recommend. I also loved The Graham Effect. Obviously loved the Off-Campus series. Loved The Graham Effect. I think I gave it a 4.5. I am torn between a 4.5 and a 4.75 for the Dixon Rule. I just loved it. It was just so cute. And like I was saying, it was very much giving Rory Miller from The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. Highly, highly recommend it if you're thinking about reading it and getting it. It's another Elle Kennedy slay. Like, she can do no wrong. All her hockey romances are of a phenomenal standard. Like, she is my favourite hockey romance author, and I've read a lot of hockey romances. I just love them. It has been a hot minute. I have been reading other books for other videos and just other things, and I am ready to start my next arc. Now, I've actually already started it. I always do this. I've been reading 2 books at the same time, which is always a bad idea, but I do it anyway. And one of the books I've been reading is very much like quite a dark romance, and it's quite heavy, truthfully. Like, it's scandalous, it's unhinged, and it's quite heavy. And it was very heavy on the dropping of the jaw. Like, my jaw was on the floor. So anyway, naturally, I then switched over to something slightly lighter, and that's where we get to my arc. A lovely lady at Penguin actually reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to read this. I said yes. The words she used were Emily Henry vibes, romance. The tropes that are in this book. So it's first of all, it's One Last Shot, but I believe Betty Kayowet. I'm not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce it. But the tropes, oh my goodness. Someone sedate me, I'm unwell. Childhood friends to lovers. If you know me, I'm a friends to lovers whore. Like, I eat that up. My favourite trope of all time. Holiday romance. This is getting me in the summer vibes. The sun is finally shining in the UK. We are getting towards summer and I can't wait. Grumpy Sunshine. Nothing else needs to be said. Second chance romance. I am going to eat this up. So, I've read a little bit so far. From what I gather, two people made a marriage pact in high school. They were like, if we're not married by the time we're, I think, 28, 30, whatever, we will get married. The day comes, they have like a notification on their phone to notify them when the day comes. And they're both like in completely different places, doing completely different jobs. Each of them are like famous in their fields. So one's a model, one's a photographer, I'm pretty sure. So they're in the public eye, basically. And the girl who's the model ends up coming to the photo shoot of the guy, and I think that's as far as I've gotten. Basically, they both still have feelings for each other. She's just gone through a breakup. I am like not fighting at all, but I'm eating this up. I'm already loving this. It's giving such vibes. Like, the MMC is so cute. It's giving more Abby Jimenez than Emily Henry at the moment, but I'm loving it. It comes out on the 9th of May. But yeah, Penguin literally sent me, this is my first physical arc I've ever gotten. Penguin sent this to me, which is just insane to me, but I will update you with my thoughts. But I'm loving it so far. It's giving the summer vibes. The sun is shining and the vibes are immaculate, and I'm loving this. So I'm going to get reading. Right, my loves, we have officially finished one last shot and I'm going to give you my thoughts. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have 2 words to describe this book. No, 3 words to describe this book. Ultimate beach read. Was this life-changing? No. Was this particularly emotional and gut-wrenching? No. Was this the perfect holiday summer book to read on the beach or by the pool? Quick read that you're going to get through in like a day and a half? Was it that? 1,000,000%. This was the definition of that summer holiday book. This is a staple for your summer. 100%. Oh my god. This was a perfect balance of emotion, humour, cute vibes, giddy, squealing moments. This just warmed my heart in ways that my heart has not been warmed in a while, considering the books I've been reading. This was such an adorable summer read, genuinely. And I will say there are some really, really beautiful lines in this book that just like knocked me off my feet because they were just so raw and beautiful and poetic. When Penguin reached out to me, they said this was very much giving Emily Henry. And I get where they were going with that. I will say it felt a lot more lighthearted than Emily Henry's books. And another author who I will really liken this to is Abby Jimenez. It felt very much on par with like Just for the Summer. If you've read Abby Jimenez's new book Just for the Summer, it felt very much like that with the summer vibes. But it is the perfect summer beach read. Seriously. Oh my goodness. You all need to be reading this summer. Genuinely. I think I'm going to give it a 4. I'm trying to decide between 3.75 and a 4-star. I think I'm going to give it a 4 because I did genuinely really enjoy it. It was such a quick read. And there weren't any moments, like sometimes in these summer romance books, there are moments when I go, oh, for goodness sake, like why did the author have to do that? But there were none of these moments in this. This was pretty like a solid summer romance book. And they are hard to find. Truly, they are hard to find. I'd highly recommend this. Thank you so much, Penguin, for sending me the arcs of this book. Because I enjoyed it tremendously. Like, I literally have tabs. I don't know if you can see. I enjoyed this. Oh, and also Swifties. This has like Taylor Swift song references as well. So, book for the Swifties. In addition to everything else I said. Good morning. We are now due to start the 3rd and final arc for this video. This is one I've been excited about, but I wasn't really excited about it until I read the description. I thought this was going to be more of a literary fiction, and I think it's still going to have the literary fiction vibes. But I think ultimately it is a romance. It's called Love at First Book. I have nothing to show you because it's just like a proof copy on my Kindle, but called Love at First Book by Jen McKinley. And from what I can gather, I don't really know what this is about, but there's a librarian, there's a romance, and it's kind of giving like from the blurb, sort of like an Emily Henry book, how it's kind of a cross between literary fiction and romance. So I'm very excited for this. I don't know how long it is because it's saying I only have 1 hour 48 minutes left. So I don't know. But we're going to start this and I'm quite excited. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'll update you as I go along because like I said, I don't really know what this is about, which is exciting to me. So yeah. I don't really have a lot to update you on. I am 17% through. I am loving it. I don't want to say like I am on the hunt for a 5-star read. I have not had a 5-star read in a while, in a good couple of months. And I'm on the hunt for a 5-star read. Not saying this is going to be it, but I'm just saying I'm really enjoying it. It is like enemies to lovers, sort of grumpy sunshine, workplace romance. He's her boss. She was a librarian and she just moved to Ireland. And she now works in a bookshop, so it's very bookish, cozy vibes. And I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm really enjoying it. And it has very high potential to be one of my favourite reads. I'm just going to put that out in the universe. I probably won't update you till I'm planning on like reading most of this tonight. So I probably will update you tomorrow when hopefully I've finished it. But you never know. Like, I don't know how much I'll get through tonight. Don't know when the last time I updated you was, but I am 68% through Love at First Book. And honestly, it is not what I expected, but in the best way. I am really, really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. It's giving that sort of rom-com vibe that's got like the emotional edge to it. A bit like an Abby Jimenez book, but not as hard-hitting as some of her books are, because some of her books are really, really sad. But I'm really enjoying it. I don't even know if I've given you any updates. So she was a librarian and she moves and she starts working in a bookshop, and she is working as an assistant. Oh, it's all confusing. I don't know how to explain this to make it not confusing. The bookshop manager's mum is a famous author. Emily, the girl in this book, is employed to work as the author's assistant and also in the bookshop. And yeah, she's trying to change all this old software that's in this bookshop, and she's aiding the mum, who's the writer, writing her like last chapter to like this series of books that she's been writing. And there's sort of like an emotional subplot. I can't explain it without it being spoilers. Just know it's giving really cozy vibes. Like, this is a good autumnal read. It's just giving cozy vibes, like they're in a bookstore. The romance plot is really, really, really good. Like, you can feel the characters. Like, the characters feel realistic and you feel immersed in like as if you're in the story. It's crazy. And I haven't read a book like that in a while that feels genuinely raw and realistic, which I love. So like I said, it's saying I have 46 minutes, but I think that's a lie. I'm 68% through. I'm really enjoying it though. So my plan is to kind of sit and finish this now, because this comes out soon and I need to edit this video and get it up because one of the arcs comes out pretty much this week, I think. So we need to get going with this. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far. Highly recommend. Oh my goodness. I've just finished Love at First Book. I am very pleased to inform you. 5 stars. 5 stars. I'm gonna cry thinking about it. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so good and so emotional. And it had no business. Like, I did not expect this from this book. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Jen McKinley. I have never read a book by her before. Never even heard of her. I've heard no one speaking about this author, but this literally took me out. I can't. I've only had 2 5-star reads this year. We're in the month of May. I think I've read 49 books so far. I've had 2 5 stars, and this was a 5-star. And I feel healed. Like, I have been searching for a 5-star for so long. In April, I read so many highly anticipated reads. None of them were a 5-star, and it pained me to my inner core. And I was reading this. I just saw it on NetGalley and thought, this is going to be great. Like, this just looks fun. This is light, cute, romance vibes. It was not light or cute. It was kind of cute, but it was not light. Oh my goodness. But it was perfect. It was just perfect, down to every single minute detail. It was perfect, and I'm gonna cry talking about it because it was just everything. This book is truly the romance book for my romance book lovers. Like, this was a dedication to book lovers. All of my book lovers out there, like, honestly, this was written for us. And I haven't read many books like that. Like, if you were to listen to I Hate It Here by Taylor Swift and read this book, I think the mix of those 2 things would probably create a concoction that you would never recover from. Truly, like, oh my goodness. Talking more about the book specifically, the way this was written was just kind of like how I describe an Emily Henry book, in the way that every single word, every single line is thought about and chosen for a reason, and it has a purpose. And Jen really wrote everything in this book with a purpose to destroy me, but it was painfully beautiful the way it was written. And it wasn't, you know how sometimes authors write a sad book for the sake of it being sad, and sometimes it just feels like you're writing a sad book just to kind of tick the box that this is a sad book, it will make you cry. This didn't feel like that. This was a romance book with a really realistic, believable romance arc, and it was emotional, but it was handled so sensitively and beautifully, and it felt real and it felt believable and it just felt raw. Every romance book girly needs to read this book because it was just, the vibes were immaculate, and it gave very much sort of autumnal vibes, like the small town autumnal vibes, and I felt like it would be a great book for the autumn time. Nevertheless, I read it in May and I still loved it, so don't have to wait. Like, I would strongly urge you read this book. I believe it comes out the 14th of May. When it comes out, I will be buying a physical copy because this needs its place on my shelf, because I'm like choked up from this book. And I didn't expect to get the 5-star feeling. I feel like this is why it's hit harder, because I didn't, not that I didn't expect it to be good, but I didn't have any preconceived anticipations. I've had no one talking about it. I've had nothing about this author before. I assume she has other books. I need to look and I need to read them if she does, because this can't, I mean, it could be a debut, but I don't think it's a debut because it was so good. I had no preconceived, like, I didn't have an anticipated rating. I didn't have anything going into this book. I just started reading it. And I feel like when you find 5 stars from that, that is the best feeling. Because I've been searching for a 5-star. I read Funny Story, I read Just for the Summer, I read Taming Seven, I read The Reappearance of Richard Price, I read Wild Love by Elsie Silver. None were a 5-star. And I thought, I am broken. Am I just too critical? This needs to stop. But I finally found a 5-star, and I cannot wait to shout about this book from the rooftops because it needs to get the recognition it deserves. And also, I haven't even touched on the MMC. The MMC was phenomenal. Keir, I think is how you pronounce his name. Oh my god. I don't even have words to fathom, but perfect book, boyfriend. I just can't even speak about this book because it was just so perfect. I feel like I don't need to say anything other than just trust me that it's phenomenal. Like, I don't even want to say anything, like, because it's not spoilers, but it's just giving you don't need to go into this book with anything other than it's a romance book for romance book lovers. Like, that's all you need. You don't need to go into this book with anything more, because it's just such an easy read and it's just so amazing that you just don't need anything more than that. I feel like it was a successful video. What did we read? We read The Dixon Rule, we read One Last Shot, and we read Love at First Book. I feel like it was successful. I kind of loved them all. They were all really, really good, specifically Love at First Book, and I also loved The Dixon Rule. And One Last Shot was the perfect summer read, which I'm so excited to recommend to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love receiving ARCs and I love reading ARCs. It's so exciting to me, and it's always like a pinch me moment when I have an ARC to read. It's like, I can't believe I'm reading this before everyone else, and that just excites me to my core. Thank you again so much to the publishers who sent me these books, and to NetGalley for The Dixon Rule and for Love at First Book. Always grateful, always scrolling on NetGalley. You literally feel my soul, and the excitement of having a request approved literally is what I live for. Thank you so much for watching this video. There are many more to come, potentially more ARC videos. I have more highly anticipated reads to come, and I just love making these little booktube videos because I love to chat and I can't keep my mouth shut when I'm talking about books. So these videos are mainly for me, to get my book verbal diarrhea out of me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you when I see you in a new video. Bye!